Whoa!
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has happened. Mike Evans is expected to sign a 3-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers. Just moments after Shrake said, hey, this Evans deal is coming soon. And he believes that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now out of the conversation for Mike Evans. Adam Schefter says, while you're saying that, Shrakes, let me actually tell you what's happening. The Niners now have a first ballot Hall of Famer, a man who has been able to accomplish great things no matter who's playing quarterback, has won a Super Bowl, has experienced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the top all the way down to the bottom. Now he's heading to San Francisco with a litany of weapons and an offense with Brock Purdy guiding it that can certainly put up ridiculous numbers. Him now going deep down the field for Shanahan and Purdy. Good night. Maybe the Niners make a run at this thing. Let's go into the free agency frenzy zone with the man who put that tweet out. Schefter, what's the deal? How do we get here, pal?
Well, the Niners have needed help at wide receiver. Look, they're moving on from Brandon Ayuk this offseason. Everybody knows that. They have a situation where Deebo Samuel left last year. So really, Ricky Pearsall is their proven wide receiver. They wanted a veteran presence out there. Mike Evans was interested in leaving Tampa for a variety of factors. And at the Combine, the word on the street all along was that he was interested in leaving. Now, he lives in Houston during the offseason. A lot of people thought initially maybe the Texans. But the Niners are the team that was interested in him. And they were talking today. And I think the hang-up, as we alluded to before, was they were coming together on a deal, and then there was a hiccup like, wait, hold on. We thought you could do this, or we thought you could do that. And they had to work through that. Now, it's going to be a 3-year deal. It's really a shorter-term deal than that, but it's going to be called a 3-year deal for cap purposes. And this is an emotional departure for both Mike Evans and the Buccaneers. This was the very first draft pick that the Buccaneers general manager Jason Light made in Tampa. Mike Evans is going to be in their Ring of Fame. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He is an elite wide receiver. For him to leave an organization like that, he just felt like he wanted to try something else, wanted to be in a different offensive system, wanted to see what life was like elsewhere. And so he now will finish his career in San Francisco as a focal part of their offense. The 49ers were in the market for a wide receiver, Mike Evans, to the 49ers on a 3-year deal.
A lot of turnover in Tampa Bay at the offensive coordinator role. Obviously, Baker Mayfield now has been his quarterback for the last couple of years. Tom Brady, Jameis Winston, the list goes on and on. He'll go out there with Kyle Shanahan's offense and Brock Purdy ready to slice and dice. I'm excited to see what Shanahan does with him. I think he's probably pretty excited as well. Let's head over to the free agency fun zone. Schrags thought the deal was coming quick and said maybe a sleeper team. I think we brought up the Niners, but still didn't necessarily expect it. Why did they make this play, Schrags? And what does this mean, Orlovsky?
That was so fun, and that is why we do this thing in real time.
Come on.
I was hearing that the Buccaneers were out. Well, why were they out? Because seconds later, we find out that the 49ers had closed the deal. I can't stress it enough, and Adam's done it, and I know at home you'll be rolling your eyes. The sentimental connection between Mike Evans and that franchise is so strong, stronger than what Brady had with them, stronger than what Gronk had. This is a guy who's been there all these years, ups and downs, and is now finally leaving. And it was like, if you love someone, you let them go. And at some point, the Buccaneers said, you know what? If we're going to make an end, okay, go on and explore other options. Derek Gilmore is the agent. He's been with them all along. They worked the deal out, and there were many other interested parties. But 3 years they get on Mike Evans, and he goes to the 49ers, who, yes, were eliminated from the playoffs in a divisional round, but were so injured last year down the stretch. He believes he can still win and still make that top dollar money with the 49ers. I like the fit, but of course it's free agency frenzy on a Monday. I like all the fits.
I love the fit for San Francisco. I love the fit for San Francisco. San Francisco, McAfee, and as great as CMC is, he led them in basically every offensive category this year, or this past season. Too much of a burden on that football player. So now Mike comes there, Pearsall there. They're probably going to lose Juwan Jennings, who's their dog at wide receiver, do-it-all type. What they do is draft good players. They've drafted McMillan. They've drafted Egbuka. They drafted Tez Johnson. And so they've got these other young players that are really talented that make it, I don't want to say easier, but you can justify not overspending for Mike in this situation because you've got people in the
Hey, Ricky Pearsall at one wide receiver. You throw this guy on his second.
Kittle comes back.
Caleb comes, and obviously you get Kittle back, you get Juszczyk back. You suddenly put this thing together, and it's like, all right, 49ers in a wide open NFC. We talk about the Rams and the Seahawks. All right, how about Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers still planting their flag and saying, we're not going anywhere yet?
And especially with Mike Evans, D-But, what does it look like in a Shanahan offense with Mike Evans? How do you think he is used? Because, we got a lot of hey, we need you to do exact stuff. Or is Evans there to go ahead and take one of the safeties out of the box so everything else can open up? How does he directly affect everything else going on whenever you're trying to game plan this Niners team?
Yeah, when you talk to defensive coaches or defensive players, they'll tell you Kyle Shanahan probably puts the most problems in front of him as far as game planning and calling plays. But when he's healthy, C-Mac, he's a mismatch for anyone that's guarding him. So now whoever they draft or whoever they bring in on part of that wide receiver core, they can sit in a room and learn from Mike Evans week in and week out, because you don't have just these guys, falling out of the sky.
Can he still play?
I think he can still go, because the type of guy that he is, the body that he has, like I said, he's not a guy who's going to be taking the top off of defense like he did 5 or 6 years ago, but even when he's covered, he's not.
I love what's happening. Linderbaum goes. Mike Evans goes.
What?
We're trying to update the amount of money that has been spent so far in these 14 and a half hours of free agency frenzy. It's over $1.4 billion in contracts. What a day for the boys.
Unbelievable.
Hey, way to go, boys. I think that says something about the health of a league, obviously, whenever you're able to give that amount of contracts out in 14 and a half hours. And we're not even anywhere near when these contracts are allowed to be, actually officialized. That's on Wednesday. We are currently just in a place where it's this is the deal that's being done. And it wasn't like this always. Schefter actually drove for this particular era to happen for the NFL schedule, because it was happening, but nobody was talking about it. And then the NFL opens up a tampering period. Then there's a pre-tampering period that's allowed. And it's was it even tampering then if you're legalizing it? It's almost like first convent
Right now, where he is looking at multiple teams and he might be having second thoughts. But I was told to expect Mike Evans to announce his team early in the day. We are now entering hour 3. I have the same cadence as Adam Schefter right now. I feel like I'm embodying him. We have to watch, we have to see, but the truth of the matter is this: Tampa Bay wasn't going to go out without a fight. They love this guy. That is a franchise player.
Hey, Albert Breer is reporting that word was Mike Evans' camp has told teams that he had a 1-year, $27 million offer from someone. Whether or not that's actually the case, we'll see. Greg Oman also on the reporting of that. Maybe we had to hear into the Schefter zone to hear what he has heard about the information surrounding Mike Evans and where his future is. Schefter, I don't know if you saw that out of Albert Breer, talking about a $27 million 1-year offer from Mike Evans. Do we know what Mike Evans is kind of pondering right now, or what's kind of taking place?
I still think he's going to wind up leaving Tampa in the end. There's no official word on that. And again, as Peter said, these things go back and forth. Now, he will be talking and has been talking to teams. And sometimes you think that you're further along on a deal, and then all of a sudden players come back for more things or teams pull back something else. And I think that's what's going on with Mike Evans, right? Before he leaves Tampa, he wants to make sure that it's for what he wants. On from Tampa, and my understanding was people in his family stepped in and let's stay in Tampa. And that's what happens. Every year we see people reach agreements, and then sometimes people don't get those agreements followed up and signed. So, again, I still think ultimately he's going to wind up leaving Tampa. That's my sense. And we have to see ultimately where it ends up.
Wow, I'm telling you, Anzalone said, I'm not leaving Tampa.
Yep.
Mike Evans' family heard the things were we're not leaving.
I could say somebody told him that. Any Mike Evans deal that's done right now.
Okay, so you're saying could be, but it is not what you have heard. Go ahead.
I haven't heard anything.
Schefter, I know it's the first year for it. I haven't seen any reporting on it. Are you hearing from teams we used one of our 5 1-hour Zoom calls on this player? Are you getting any of those today?
We're 2.5 hours in almost. This is such a scramble. I don't know anybody that's setting up a Zoom call, sitting down in the midst of these crazy negotiations and punters flying off the shelf.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm talking about, Schefter. Yeah.
Right? You got teams wheeling and dealing. I don't think anybody's sitting in to schedule a video. There might be a certain case where if there's a question about somebody the team has, you want to get that guy on the phone or a Zoom call. You have the liberty to do that, but I'm unaware of that.
Hey, heard you had nobody at your birthday party. You need to talk. You need to understand what's going on. We appreciate you, Schefty.
Okay.
The thought of a $27 million, $30 million offer to Mike Evans for 1 year. What was Fitz's deal? $11 million every year if he just wanted to sign up for it? Remember that?
Yeah.
It was like 11 million.
Three
but-
straight years.
But it was also, I think, just like available.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you want to play another year, this is fully guaranteed.
Respectable
It
number,
is available
whatever
for you.
it
It was
was.
11 million at the time. You know,
Yeah,
it's a little bit different. I think Mike Evans had something similar. Is kind of how we all viewed it. Like, hey, if he wants to be at Tampa, it's going to be this. Then he gets a chance to hear what other teams think about him for the first time, long time. And it's like everybody in Tampa sees him as a one-helmet guy. I think his family is potentially like, hey, not only one helmet, this is beautiful.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
house
one
is
city.
awesome.
This
here.
place is unbelievable. We're heroes here. We've done it all here. And then you hear from another team that's like, hey, just want to let you know, we'd be willing to, we need you. Okay, Tampa, maybe Tampa, our show, telling Joe Ortiz, slapping him on the thigh like Steve Ballmer did in that one gif. And he goes, hey, need to sign Khalil. Need to sign Khalil. That is a guy that can't leave here. Then he talked to strength coach Herb, and he's like, we need to keep him. So they make a deal happen for him. 18 million, keep him here. Everybody's happy. It's like, is that what teams are trying to do to Mike Evans right now? 28 million guaranteed. 1 year. You just come there for
decision.
6-7 months. I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good position to be in.
Absolutely.
But also, that's a tough decision to make whenever you have been a Tampa guy your entire
Yeah,
career.
I am. I know we saw the reports. I am interested to know what the real market is for him. And we thought, hey, maybe he gets the Larry Fitzgerald treatment. He's a one helmet guy, Ring of Honor, greatest receiver in their franchise history. I'm not sure, but these are the tough decisions that the front office has to make because they have a lot of young talent in there when it comes to wide receiver. Godwin will be the OG if Mike Evans leaves, but you got Ibuka who could emerge and kind of be that next number one guy. You got McMillan.
1,000 yards for 11 straight years or something like that. I forget the number with how many different quarterbacks. And then he sees Alec Pierce, who's the deep threat guy.
Correct.
Okay, he becomes the highest free agent paid wide receiver in the history of football or whatever it is.
knows.
Mike Evans just goes, milk check. What is going on here? And then potentially they renegotiate. Or maybe Mike Evans already had his deal. He respects Alec Pierce. We all respect Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the case. But maybe Mike Evans' agents go, there's a whole new market potentially that we need to look in. There's so many games that could take place. There's so many games that legitimately could be taking place.
It could, but you know it where you are in your career, and we know that Mike knows as well. I'm sure I don't want to speak for him, but that's Alec Pierce's first bite at the apple. He's the top guy in line.
A bunch of cap space that is absolute shite. Is maybe a team that's offered him 27. He's like, yeah, that's nice, but like, I'm not. I think the grass
Tom
is
Brady
greener.
knows Mike. Oh my God.
Well, yeah.
Tom Brady going to Fernando, like if he had a Mike
Greg
Evans.
did say
That's all I
surprise
need.
team.
That would be. Let's go to the free agency fun zone. Schrags, is that the team that just been kind of sitting there that we haven't even thought about? The owner of the team won a Super Bowl with the guy, and boy, we have the money, and a rookie quarterback's best friend could be a guy that could take a top off of a defense. Is that something that we haven't maybe chatted about, Schrags, and are we far off in that world?
I think we're going to find out Mike Evans shortly. And I'm going to tell you this. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers believe they are no longer in it for Mike Evans. So they had made a strong offer, and it seems like Evans' representatives have said, we love you, we love how this has been, but it looks like Mike Evans will be moving on. I don't have the team yet. We should know shortly.
Dan, are you okay, bud?
That's a big move. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's been there forever.
They wanted him.
Yeah, I think.
Not enough, Schrags.
Okay, but now it's where. So I'll go back to this. My brain goes to San Francisco. My brain goes to the Rams. My brain goes to the Bills or the Ravens. If you're Mike Evans and you're willing to leave a place that you have made a Hall of Fame name on the field and an unbelievable name off the field, it's got to be for more than just cash. It's got to be for a place that you think quarterback's legit. This isn't going to be a problem where I'm not getting the football thrown to me or at the right place. Also a team that's got a chance to win the Super
Can I
Bowl.
interrupt?
So
I've got a breaking news one in Tone Diggs. You might really like this one. Shut up. The Steelers have agreed to a deal with cornerback Jamel Dean, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Beautiful.
3 years, $36.5 million. Eric Burkhart, Rock Nation Sports, will be the agent on that one. But the Steelers, in acquisition mode, Jamel Dean, the corner from Tampa Bay, who has had a Super Bowl career with them as well. So we're talking Mike Evans, but here we go. Breaking news, the Schefter tweet. I just got here. Jamel Dean going to the Steelers.
Thank you for that. Congrats to the Steelers on another big signing in the corner. They brought in a wide receiver as well. They brought in Pittman, renegotiated his deal for $59 million. Now they bring in a corner. Steelers very active. Tampa very active. Mike Evans still sitting there open. Steelers fan feels like what with this deal?
Feel really, really good. This is one of the positions of need. You have Joey Porter Jr., who came into his own this year. was one of the best in the league. You signed Asante Samuel Jr. After the injury last year. You signed him to a 1-year deal this morning, kind of on a prove-it deal for about $5 million. So this is just another piece to